Hey guys, I'm Rich Woods from For the Love of Tech. Today we're talking about Windows 10 Mobile build 10,581 again. If you follow For the Love of Tech on YouTube, you know that there's generally a routine that I go through when there's a new Windows 10 Mobile build. First I'll do the walkthrough with all the new features. Then I'll do a speed test where I compare Windows Phone 8.1 on the 930 with Windows 10 Mobile on the Icon, and it's all fun. And then after a few days of using it, I do a video on if it's ready for your daily driver. I was only going to do the walkthrough this time, because there's really not a lot new in this build. There's not much sense in doing a speed test, which I did. And I'm doing these because people are requesting them. And I try to make any video that people request if it's reasonable, you know? So, like I said, there's not a lot new. This build was mainly released for people that were still on 105.36, right? Because if you recall, 105.49 and 105.72 both required you to roll back to Windows Phone 8.1. So they kept promising, we'll have a build for people on 105.36 soon. We'll have it. We'll have it. And then now they finally do, but there's not a lot there that wasn't there in 105.72. So I was just gonna kind of do the walkthrough, and then we'll move on, to the next build when it comes out. But anyway, let's talk about if it's ready for your daily driver. Okay, first of all, my answer is always gonna be, if you have to ask, don't do it, because it's still a beta. All right, it's still there's still quirks. There's things that don't work. I'll show you right now an example of something that doesn't work, and that is the Microsoft Health app. So when I open it, it's going to tell me, I believe it's going to tell me. Of course, it's not going to tell me now. But what it tells me is that I'm using a version of Microsoft Health that does not work with Cortana, and stay tuned for an update. Okay, so you can still pair the band, but apparently Cortana won't work. Now, I did pair my band with Microsoft Health on Windows 10 originally, because I finally decided to upgrade my Lumia 930, which I had never done before. So what this does now, once you pair it, you can't move your tiles around. Okay, so let me open it on the 930 so I can show what it's supposed to do. Okay. There were certain tiles that just wouldn't be that you wouldn't be able to turn on. It would say you have to go into your settings and turn on the Microsoft band, and then once you go into your settings, it would already be on. So there was just nothing to do. I would turn it off and on again. I would do all kinds of stuff, and it just wouldn't work. So things like mail, okay, pretty much anything that wasn't already checked and required notifications. Facebook, Twitter, Facebook Messenger, I wasn't able to turn on any of those things. And then once I finally used whatever I could, I went to rearrange your band's tiles, and then I would drag them across and they just wouldn't go anywhere. Okay, so I do not recommend upgrading to Windows 10 if you're using a Microsoft band. Okay, so that's one thing. All right, other than that, I've found the build to be pretty delightful. No random reboots like I've had in almost every previous build. Okay, I found everything to be pretty great. I love the design of Windows 10 Mobile. I love the photo in the background. It looks a lot better. All right. And even on phones like the 1020, which has a dual-core Snapdragon S4 Plus, I find that Windows 10 Mobile has breathed new life into the phone. Okay. I could say the same for the Lumia 535. The thing about the 535 is that there are more glitches than normal. And this has been the case since the beginning with this phone. Right? See, the camera's in better shape now. It's not shaky as it was on the last build. If you watch the "Is this ready for your daily driver" for 105.72, you'd see that the camera was very buggy. So you can see that it is getting better. I'd also note that the 635 is super smooth on Windows 10. I made device-specific Windows 10 videos about the 520 and the 535. I should make one about the 635 as well because it's pretty popular. I found it to be pretty super smooth. Okay, the one phone that's really bad is the 520. Okay, and if you're using the 520, you're at a bit of a crossroads because when Windows Phone 8.1 came out, this phone became a dinosaur overnight. It was actually a decent phone on Windows Phone 8, and it's in much worse shape as soon as it got Windows Phone 8.1. It's going to be even worse on Windows 10. Windows 10 is going to slow down these phones. Make no mistake about that. Now, you can see some tiles are missing from the start screen. Now, that's kind of a big deal here because original builds, as they replaced all the system apps, those tiles would just disappear and they wouldn't replace them with anything. So Windows 10 is actually learning to replace Internet Explorer with Edge on the start screen and replace the email app with Outlook and stuff like that. So and replace Lumia Camera with Windows Camera, stuff like that. It's really getting there. So I'm guessing that the 520 is just doing this because it's an older phone and there's stuff that they just don't make anymore, like App Social or whatever. But this phone is in really bad shape still. It's a frustrating phone to use. It's very slow. Okay, and everything just takes time. All right, there's a lot of lag, and it's not something I really want to go deep into, but I would say stay on Windows Phone 8.1 with this phone. If you want, I mean, it's a $30 phone. If you have a backup phone, go for it. Install the preview. You know. By the way, it wouldn't surprise me if the next preview supports the LG Lancet that I have here because Windows Device Recovery Tool just got support for the LG Lancet. So that's a big deal, you know. Remember, the reason that some Windows phones aren't supported by the preview is because there's no way to roll back. They're not supported by the device recovery tool. All right. So they do have some known issues in this build. As with previous builds, 5 minutes. There's about a 5-minute black screen after installing. No big deal. Just start installing the build and just walk away for an hour. You'll be unable to set your default save locations. Okay, so you can't set it so it'll save apps to an SD card. If you were set to save to an SD card before you upgraded to this build, you'll still be able to, but you won't be able to change it. Okay, so that's something you might want to know because a lot of people upgrade to the new build and they love to do a factory reset after installing it. I don't think that's necessary. Microsoft recommended a factory reset after installing a new build once. Okay, and I saw Daniel Rubino tweet about it a couple times since then, but I haven't heard anybody recommend a factory reset since. Okay. So, I mean, the one thing is Lumia Camera is available on the 1020 now, which is a big deal. I believe 105.49 they started allowing you to keep Lumia Camera on the 1020, so you can actually do the things that you need to, saving in RAW and oversampling and stuff like that. So, if that was holding you back from upgrading, you have it now. Okay, so remember Lumia Camera, and they got rid of Lumia Camera on the icon. Same thing happened to me when I upgraded my 930. And by the way, I did roll back the 930. So I'm telling you if this is ready for your daily driver. If you're asking if it was ready for mine, I thought it was, and it turned out that it wasn't. Okay, so Lumia Camera is gone from the icon in the 930, but the Windows Camera app actually does the oversampling and it does the raw photos, right? It's really interesting that it does this because it doesn't do that for the 1020, and it really leads me to believe that Microsoft is just not supporting that 41 megapixel camera anymore. Okay, so after moving apps to an SD card, those apps might crash. The workaround is to reboot your phone and those apps should work fine. If you restore a backup from a phone at a different resolution, you may end up with a corrupted start experience. The workaround is to go to Action Center, then Settings, Personalization, Start, and apply a different background picture. So then you should be fine. Okay, so those are the known issues. Now, there's things that are fixed. Hey Cortana works now. I found that it didn't work. If you go through my original walkthrough video, I found that it didn't work. You can now select photos for sharing through the Facebook and Facebook beta apps and all third-party apps, because apparently what happened in the last build is that if you went to share a photo, you wouldn't be able to share it from a third-party app. Okay, now if you watch my walkthrough video for that build, I thought they meant that you couldn't share it from the Photos app, and apparently you could share it from the Photos app, just not from third-party apps. Okay, so now apparently that's all good and fine. All right. Battery life should be improved. Now that's a big deal. I found that battery life was pretty good, or at least around the same as my 930 running Windows Phone 8.1. So that's exciting because that's one issue that I know a lot of people have with these insider preview builds is that the battery life just kind of sucks and the phone gets hot, and it's a lot better now. Okay, so they fixed an issue where you couldn't choose some apps to show quick status on the lock screen. We made improvements to text prediction and auto correction. Video recording functionality has been improved. You know, I never had a problem with video recording functionality. Then again, I don't record a lot of videos with my Windows Phone because they don't do 1080p at 60 frames per second, and that's how I prefer to record video. But someone's gonna comment and say that I didn't upload this in 60 frames per second, and I know I might. I don't know. I upload some at 60 FPS. I upload some at 30. Right. So what else? Visual voicemail sync should now work properly. We fixed the dual SIM issues that appeared in build 10572. We fixed the issue found in build 10572 where the Chinese Pinyin QWERTY keyboard stopped working after upgrading from Windows Phone 8.1 that our Chinese Windows Phone Windows insiders reported. Right, so that's about it. That's what they fixed. That's what's the known issue. Now, I read the known issues to you because I could just tell you my experience and it might be ready for you, but I read the known issues because that one of those might be a showstopper for you. You know, if you really care about sharing photos through the third party app, then it's a showstopper for you, right? And I wanted to show you device specific stuff as well. The 535 is buggy, the 520 is super laggy, you know. So that's that. Now, I pushed out a big update to the For the Love of Tech Insider Preview app recently. Two updates actually in just the last week. There's a live tile, there's a feedback option, and the reason the feedback option is there, okay, the For the Love of Tech Insider Preview app is almost done, and when it's done, it's going to go out as an update to the For the Love of Tech app. So if you're running the For the Love of Tech app on Windows 10 or Windows 10 Mobile, okay, you're going to get this as an update. So there's a lot of things that changed. There's new icons in here. There's the Twitter feed is here. There's a navigation panel there. All right. What else? There's tons of stuff. I changed home to main. So there used to be two options that said home there. So there's just a lot of stuff that's new. You can go find For the Love of Tech Insider Preview in the store and find all the release notes there. I just love if I get everybody's feedback before I push this out as an update, and the feedback is going to stay. Now, if you're still on Windows Phone 8.1, you will get an update with a subset of features that are in the For the Love of Tech Insider Preview app. The For the Love of Tech Insider Preview app will continue to exist to test new features. So I'd love if you check it out. Also, announcements are in the forum. I'm going to start posting announcements in the forum more often. Everybody seems to have forgotten about the forum, and I'm going to start using it again. So you can always find the latest For the Love of Tech announcements in the forum at forum.fortheloveoftech.com. Or you can find it in the app on Android, Windows Phone 8.1, or Windows 10 Mobile. You know, it's always kind of tricky making a video about whether a beta is ready to be your daily driver. Okay, and the reason for that is because there's a million different Windows phones on the market, and everybody that has one has different needs. Okay, it's not perfect. It's not an RTM build. It's not the final release. Okay, so there's going to be problems in every single fucking build. Okay, so if you want a stable OS, stick with Windows Phone 8.1, and it's that simple. Okay, so and there's really not much else to say there. If you want to, it's getting a lot better. It's really smooth. It's relatively bug free. Some of the apps have problems, but other than that, it's your call, and that's how I always end these videos. It's your call. Okay. So anyway, guys, I'm Rich Woodson For the Love of Tech. Have a great night. Hey guys, I'm Rich Woodson For the Love of Tech. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I love making videos for you. But one thing I could really use is your support. So click that support now button right above my head or whatever it says. It might say support now, whatever it says. Click it. Donate $1, donate $5, donate $1 million. If you donate $1 million, I'll do something extra special for you. Anyway, thank you.